It's Razor 94.7, 104.7 Backstage in Somerset, the Somerset Amphitheater, along with Jordan of Bring Me the Horizon. How's it going?
Very good. Thank you.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Good to have you guys in town. Really looking forward to the show tonight. How's the run of shows been going? You guys have been going since late June, I want to say, right on this run.
Yeah, no, it's been really cool.
Nice.
We've had fun. Been a bit different for us because we're supporting. We haven't done that for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And different type of venue really as well. We haven't played these kind of seated. I mean, today isn't seated. It's the first one that isn't. But a lot of them have been like these kind of theaters, amphitheaters, and that's been a bit different for us. So yeah, it's been a cool challenge. And
How did the show kind of come to be for you guys? Because like you said, you haven't supported in a little while, and it's an interesting pairing, Fall Out Boy with you guys. I love the pairing, but it seems like it's kind of an interesting show. So how did that kind of come out for you guys?
Well, they asked us, and we're big Fall Out Boy fans, so that was basically it. And then I mean, it's just, I think with the record we're doing at the moment is some of the stuff leans a bit more into that territory a little bit as well, so it kind of works, and just good timing, and everything just kind of panned out. So we're really happy to be doing it because we're fans of the band, and it's cool to be playing to a different type of crowd for us as well. You know, we often play to our own fans, or we do a lot of heavier festivals and stuff like that. So it's cool to be able to have the challenge of playing to some people who may not actually know who we are.
Yeah,
we're really enjoying that.
For sure. And you talk about, the new album that you guys are putting out. You've been putting out a ton of new music recently, and love the stuff that I'm hearing from you guys. It's interesting because it's leaning a little bit more into this, modern electronic sound, that we've kind of seen popping up over the last couple of records and last couple of singles. What kind of drove you guys to go to that and kind of away from some of like the Sempiternal era, like heavier rock stuff, and kind of incorporate some of this more electronic stuff within the heavier stuff too?
Well, good question. I guess, Sempiternal's 10 years old, for one. So, I mean, that's a decade ago. Yeah. So it sounds old to me. So things move on, and I guess the way we work has changed, and our taste has changed. And music's changed. So I think, there is still a lot of bands doing similar type of stuff to Sempiternal. That kind of active rock type of thing is still big, and we cross over into that a little bit, but I think we're more excited by trying to find something new all the time. So our influences are electronic music and some really heavy music and J-pop and K-pop, and we're often trying to find things that feel unusual to us or unheard, and then try and channel it into our music. So I think that's probably why our music sounds so heavy production, is because that's a sound that we like, and we're trying to find a way to make it feel exciting and different and larger than life, I guess. And it's just that's kind of just what we're on at the moment. So who knows? It's hard to say why. It
just kind of happens, right? It's kind of like a natural progression.
And we love production. We're very production heavy bands, so we spend a lot of time, working on songs in the studio on the computer. And Ollie's big into sounds and production. I'm obviously big into that kind of thing. So we don't write music like a band in a room jamming. So the songs tend to come together a lot more production heavy, just because that's what we like. So
nice, dude. Well, I'm a huge production nerd myself too. Like I tried to create my own music at one point, and I should probably just stick to talking about it with people. But I want to get nerdy with you for a second. What's been, when you're putting some of these songs together and it comes to like the time to produce and do all that stuff, what's been the most fun thing that you've experimented with in some of the newer songs, and maybe a program that you use that you haven't used before, or anything like that? Does anything stick out from some of these recent songs, just the new album?
I mean, honestly, it's the same tools really I've always used, and also we're collaborating a lot more now. So I think that's the main thing, is like we're giving our songs to other people, and we're getting to a point and saying, okay, we really like the work of this producer. For example, we used Dai from Pale Dust, which is a Japanese act, I believe. We kind of just got the song to a point where it was the song, and then said, okay, give us some stuff, you know what I mean? So that's kind of exciting. I mean, it's not something I'm doing, but I mean, you get someone else's creative input in there. It almost feels like you're collaborating, but on the producer side rather than on the artist side. And I think that's another part of why each song has quite a distinctive flavour, is because we're collaborating and with kind of additional producers. We did the same thing on Lost. We worked with another producer, just added some sounds and flavours that maybe not things that we would reach for, and not things that I would reach for. So that's been an interesting part of the process on this record, which maybe we hadn't done as much on previous records. We did do that on the first Survival Horror with Mick Gordon. He added a load of layers and stuff to what we'd done already, but this one feels a little bit more. Each song feels like it would suit a different type of person to complement it. So yeah, we're working with like a handful of different kind of producers to add extra stuff, and then we're bringing it back in and making sense of it, saying, okay, that bit doesn't work, but this bit's really sick, and this is a cool idea that we wouldn't have thought of. So yeah, I think we're just trying to keep it fresh for ourselves, because we've covered so much ground over our career, and we don't want to feel like we're going over the same ground again ever, really. So that kind of thing just keeps pushing you off to one side slightly, so you're like, ooh, I wouldn't have necessarily done that. But it helps keep it interesting for us and keep pushing us. So yeah.
It's cool, and listening to some of the newer stuff and thinking about that now, having said that, you can hear kind of a different, like, distinctive style on each track, which definitely, I think is really, really cool. And to switch gears just for a second and talk a little bit about artist collaborations, because you've been doing a couple artist collaborations on some of the new stuff, and then obviously the massive Ed Sheeran collaboration that was last year. When it comes to working with other artists, how does that typically work process-wise? Do you send like something to them and be like, can you write this verse for this song, or do they kind of do it on their own, you do it together? How does that work?
It kind of depends, but I would say pretty much everything we've done has been written by us before. We kind of I think it's easier to say to them, here's what we want, and if they come back and say, oh no, I'm thinking something like this, then fine. But yeah, pretty much everything has been stuff that we've written, and then they've gone ahead and run with that, taken maybe the melody and added their own lyrics or something like that. But yeah, it's different every time. It usually starts with, to be honest, because Ollie's because he's the singer and he's got the most Instagram followers and everything.
He's got the connections.
He's usually the one who will like slide into the DMs, and I mean, if I can message someone, but the chances are it's going to go in the other inbox.
I would respond to you.
Okay, well, bear that in mind for the collab.
For sure.
But yeah, he'll hit someone up, and that's usually the best way. You can go through management and kind of do the official route, but if you just message someone and say, we want to work with you, that seems to get the best results. Usually. So it's often like that. A lot of the people we knew, like Youngblood, we knew on the last record. Baby Metal, we kind of knew them and their team, so that was an easy one, and we knew they'd be keen. Uzi was, I think, a bit of a stab in the dark on Amen. Kind of just hit him up, and he was like, I actually had a friend who was like, who'd been saying it for ages, you should do a track with Uzi. And I was like, I'm not in that world, so I was like, okay, but I trust him, and I was like, if you, and eventually, Ollie kind of had the idea himself and hit him up, and he was fully down. He loves heavy shit, and
well, you guys did a track on his new album too, right?
We did a track on his record, and I think Ollie sent him a bunch of our demos and kind of said, trying to find some more rappy feeling stuff, and he was like, no, I want the good shit, I want the hard shit. So we ended up just sending him this like kind of heavy, riffy track that we had, and he was like, yeah, that's the shit. So I don't know, really random. I was not expecting. But he loved it. So
it's cool because there's such a cross like genre when it comes to that sort of stuff, and same with the Ed Sheeran stuff, I think, because there's a little bit of pop and there is a little bit of again, that modern flavor in your music, but Ed Sheeran is so like far onto the pop world that like kind of seeing that happen first at the Brit Awards and then releasing the official track a little bit later on. It's cool to see kind of this mixing of genres, and I feel like it gets more people into a particular artist. Like maybe you guys got some more people into Uzi, and maybe Uzi got some more people into you. I think it's really cool.
I think it's funny because it seems worlds apart when you think of it in terms of genre. It seems worlds apart, but then actually he's just a bloke. He's just a guy who makes music, and he loves all kinds of it, just because he happens to make that kind of music. Like he loves rock shit, he loves Cradle of Filth, he loves all kinds of things. Just like I like, we might be in this band and we're making music for this band, but it doesn't mean I'm not going to listen to. I listen to all sorts. I might listen to folk music one day, but it doesn't. That's not necessarily something that's going to channel into the music I'm making. So I guess when you think of it on a personal level, it's really not that weird at all. He's just a musician, he plays guitar and he sings, and he likes rock shit. So and he was a really cool guy. So a lot of the time it's when you meet these people and stuff, it's the whole genre thing becomes kind of irrelevant. You
Yeah.
know, still playing the same type of festivals and in the same circles, and I know people who play in his band, and you know, we're still UK musicians effectively, I guess.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That's awesome, dude. It's like one big musical family. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter where you come from, what you do.
Exactly.
It's all family. Now, out of pure curiosity, since you told me, who are some of the artists that you're listening to that might be a little off the beaten path for fans of Bring Me the Horizon?
I mean,
If you're comfortable sharing.
I'll
of course.
pick a random one. A band called Moderat.
Okay, I don't know them.
It's like a kind of electronic. It's a super group, actually.
Oh,
technically
nice.
speaking.
That's cool.
It's a random one for you.
Yeah,
I like that band.
As a random one, there we go.
Yeah.
There's information for you on this
Yeah.
interview today.
Moderat.
And really quick before I let you go,
Mm-hmm.
I'm just so curious, and I've been asking a bunch of artists this because it's cool to get different viewpoints from different bands who have been in the game for different periods of time. The way that music consumption has changed so much over the years with, you know, the implications of social media and songs blowing up there to kind of blow up now. Like radio, you know, we're not necessarily breaking a lot of new stuff anymore because people are already finding it on their own. When you think of the way that this new generation consumes music, where do you see some of the pitfalls that bands and musicians might fall into? Or where do you see maybe some of the successes that maybe you guys didn't have when you were first starting out?
I think. Well, I guess the main thing is, from a band perspective, is these trends and things can be kind of fleeting. So I think really the only thing you can do is try and focus on making sure your music is good.
Yeah.
Trying to tailor to TikTok or, you know, a certain type of trend, or trying to create a certain type of moment in your song. I don't think that is. It may work, but
But it's not genuine songwriting.
No,
either.
I think if the songs are good, and then usually the truth will out.
Yes.
You know what I mean? The
Yes.
cream will rise to the top. So
Yes.
I guess from an artist perspective, I just try not to even really think about all those kind of things too much. Obviously, for a band like us, when we're making a certain type of record, there might be a thought, you know, this could be a single, or this is a kind of slightly catchier song. I think that's fine. But yeah, trying not to get too bogged down in those kind of thoughts is good as an artist.
It's important. And yeah, being genuine is all the more, you know, it's all more powerful. And like you said, the cream will rise to the top. If your music's good, people are going to hear it. You know,
Exactly.
it'll get out there.
Exactly.
So that's awesome. Well, Jordan, Bring Me the Horizon playing tonight. Congrats on the Download headliner, by the way.
Thank you.
That show looked like it was absolutely insane, headlining Download. Now, obviously, it's going to be a little bit stripped back tonight since it's not massive headliner on a world festival stage. But what can we maybe expect from the stage show tonight and maybe going forward on this venture?
You can expect 6 men rocking out hard and playing their songs, and that's about all you're going to get, but it's going to be good.
That's a perfect note to end on. I'm Big Jake. That's Jordan with Bring Me the Horizon. Looking forward to the show tonight, man. Thanks for taking some time to chat today.
No stress. Thank you.